Hello, crypto world. Welcome to the Chart Historian. My name is Justin, and on this channel, I delve deep into crypto charts, exploring chart structures, fractals, and patterns. So today I have the Bitcoin chart open, and I am enjoying this nice, refreshing move up that Bitcoin has currently been in the midst of printing. Now, the other day over on Twitter, I posted this tweet saying this is a potential temporary rebound zone for Bitcoin. This, of course, was before it moved up. Now, there's several reasons why I thought this was a likely rebound zone for Bitcoin. One is that this was in my opinion, this area right here was a natural spot for it to bounce back up. And the other reason is that if you zoom out over here and take this fractal right here from the decline point right here and copy and paste it onto here, you'll see that it is a fairly, it's not exact, but it's a close match. Let's do that. So I copied and pasted this fractal right here onto here, and I matched it to this current size to show you the structure is similar. Let's zoom in and get a closer look. Okay, so here we go. This is a little closer. As you can see, it's roughly following the same structure as this fractal. So you have the decline here, and even in today's chart, it moves up right here, and so does this fractal. It moves here, drops again. On today's chart, we have this little peak right here. Same with on the fractal. It comes to here, it drops. Same with the fractal, and now it's moving back up. So this was another clue I had to that this is a potential area where we might see a rebound. Now, I don't know how high this will go or if it will even continue following this fractal, but so far it has been roughly following it. There is a target that we can place here that I think could be a potential target where Bitcoin may try to move up towards. So this orange line right here is the 200-week moving average, and this red line right here is the 50-day moving average. So as you can see in the past, Bitcoin has tried to get above this 200-week moving average here. It got above it, came crashing down, and for a while it stayed above it before it came crashing down. So I believe that it could try to, first of all, get above that 50-day moving average, and then if it has enough oomph in it, try to get past that 200-week moving average. Now it may top out right around here. This is where that fractal tops out. My personal target for Bitcoin is this trend line here. Now, why do I have this trend line as a target? Well, if you go back and study Bitcoin corrective structures, I've spoke a lot about this in previous videos. Bitcoin makes an initial peak, and then after that it does a retrace, and in that retrace it does, from that initial retrace, you can draw a trend line, and it does roughly 3 waves or bounces down to a capitulation point. And it touches, sometimes it goes above, but it comes back below. You could even touch it, go above, and just follow this slightly above it too. But generally, I would expect something like this. It could go above it, get pulled back below it. It has always done that for the most part. It has always touched this trend line in 3 points. So I'm expecting it to do that and then eventually move down to a capitulation point. Now, if it follows this fractal, it could do it here. If it has enough oomph to get above this 200-week moving average, it could do it around here. We'll have to see how things play out. It doesn't even necessarily have to keep following this fractal. It could vary from it, and I'm expecting at some point for it to do that. But it does make sense for it to be following something like this. I've also spoken about this concept in the past, that Bitcoin develops themes in its corrections. So just like right here, we have an initial peak and then a higher peak. We have the same, and if you zoom in, you have these small two little intermediate peaks right here. Well, we have that on the second wave too. We have one peak, and then the higher peak is the last one, just like this one right here. And in between, we have these two kind of intermediate little peaks. So for it to adopt this kind of theme going down would be in keeping with following kind of the theme on wave 2, now repeating it or something similar. It might do it in its own way on wave 3. So I believe Bitcoin will essentially complete its third wave. This is what it's in the midst of. It will come to a capitulation point. Since this is a pattern B, now there's two different types of corrective structures that Bitcoin does. There are pattern A's and pattern B's. A pattern A does, at the bottom, does a V bottom. A pattern B does a bounce. And if you go back and examine the corrective structures in Bitcoin, you'll notice that they alternate. So the last corrective structure, it did a V bottom. It took a while for it to play out. Let's go back and look at that real quick. So here it is. This is very stretched out by time, but if you were able to drag this back, it would be a kind of standard traditional looking V bottom. In fact, this structure down here, you'll find a similar structure at the bottom of other V bottoms that Bitcoin has produced. So this was a V bottom. The next correction is the one where we're at, and it is a pattern B, so it will do a bounce. In fact, if you go further back and look at the correction over here that took place before the last one we just looked at, this was in 2013, and the decline was in 2014. This is a pattern B, so here is the first wave, here's the second wave, here's the third wave, and here is that bounce. All right, so here we are back at today's chart on a 2-hour candle, and as you can see, Bitcoin has roughly been following this pattern. We'll see how far it continues to follow. If this fractal continues to play out, it will eventually get below this current low. It will make a new low. You can watch my previous Bitcoin video where I talk about why going below this current low is a possibility. You know, if you find these videos interesting, you should hit that subscribe button because you'll be notified of when I put out new videos. I put out videos on a regular basis. By the way, I am not a financial advisor, so none of this should be construed as financial or investment advice. You can follow me on Twitter at Chart Historian. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you catch my next one. Have a great weekend, and bye for now.